All right. Who I was day 5. I don't know how else to put this, but these things are getting crazy hard to find time to do. Like I say that every time, but then every time I try to get back to it, seems like I never can find the time. And for some reason, these trips to Cincinnati, if you see the familiar background, um, they seem to be the one opportunity I have to sit down and do this before I just crash. So a little bit. Like I've been to Germany again since the last time we talked. Uh, Went to Hamburg and Munich. I just went to Madisonville, Kentucky. Uh, Anyway, I just trying to hold myself to this, but also be realistic with all the other things I got going on. Still been working out, so haven't been doing as many shorts either. Probably because I wasn't getting so many views, but I probably need to do them either way just to see if someday this stuff takes off and someday people start asking for particular content or whatnot. Uh, Once I get through the who I was and who I am and who I want to be, all that, I think we'll we can use this platform to learn things and explore things together. Anyway, I had to look back at the last video just to even somewhat remember what I was rambling on, and talked about the Playhouse and kind of taking this through the end of middle school and beginning of high school. But I want to back up a little. I was actually thinking about this, and I don't think I think I talked about my family. I don't think I talked about my particular friends, and that's really a big part of who I was and who I am, and will be my future too. And uh, for the most part, other than my wife, everybody that I have or consider a friend started really early in life. So maybe just I'll use this one to talk through those friendships, at least the early part of those friendships. And then later on, when we get into some of the crazier stuff, those familiar names will come back around and maybe it'll make more sense why they were there, one or the other. But I'll just use first names. I think I'd already talked about Nick a little bit in the previous video. Uh, anyway, so I guess the first chronological first friend were born 3 days apart. Um, Same hospital, and my mom and his mom were really good friends, and um, his name's Matthew, and we were really close growing up. Uh, we were always at one or the other's house and outings and birthdays and church, all the stuff. um, just really close with them, and one of them friends that don't always get to talk to, but you think of, and um, you can always pick right back up with it. And I guess that goes for all of my friends because there'll be months and sometimes years where we don't even speak. Just everybody's got their own things to do, and it's hard to make time, it seems like. Uh, there'll be stories with Matthew. I mean, I guess the younger stuff with Matthew was just us being kids and uh, having fun, running around, playing with toys. I guess since we made it through middle school time frame, I can remember a birthday party. It was at my house, and we were out playing football, and uh, several people there. I guess we were probably 13 ish, 13, 14 maybe. No, somewhere around there. Anyway, he made a bad move or had a slight fall or something, something where, you know, visually it didn't register as any major event to me. But he was hollering and screaming and cussing. Matthew at that point in time could be colorful, and again, I said I grew up religious and all that, so not that I didn't cuss, but tried to keep it on the down low, not definitely not in front of Daddy, and all the parents were there, and he was, uh, which at that moment I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, man, just calm down. I was like, what's wrong with you? Calm down. And I act like, he was doing something wrong, but come to find out he broke his wrist. So he had to go get gassed and all that. Um, so that's one memory with him, kind of in that general time frame. But no, I know. I think I actually went over and like touched his arm, or um, and said, "Oh, you're okay," or whatever I done. And but I got a picture of us, I guess that day or the next day, where he got back and had his arm in a cast. Uh, and funny at the time, funny now. No, sure he didn't. Sure he didn't feel like it was funny at the moment in time. But anyway, Matthew's a lot like me. He has his own quirks, and you know different people like him and don't like him and whatnot. And he clicked with some people and didn't. And I mean, we weren't the same type of person, um, but very close friends. And um, but I know it, another thing with his mom passed away really young. And, I know that bothered him, and I mean, I guess that wasn't the first. No, this wasn't the first death. It was maybe the first non-family death that kind of hit me, because and her name was Susie. She was always super awesome to everybody, and she was fun too. She wasn't. I mean, it was like. I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way, but the crazy old lady that sat there and smoked on the phone uh, all the time. But she just really fun and kept life light. And like I said, her and mama got along good, and they always done stuff together. That's Matthew. That's definitely. Um, sorry, I keep scratching my nose. It's itching. Call him my first friend for sure, and I guess I'm just gonna call them all my best friends because I don't have a lot of them, and I consider them all my best friends. But then, I guess next chronologically, Nicholas. Um, I guess we lived and still live across the street from each other, and uh, you know, living at home across the street, and then I moved further back in the hill, and he moved further back in the hill, but we're still across the street from each other. Uh, we, I guess, started hanging out. I think he got held back in first grade, which made us in the same grade at that point. And then I guess I don't know if it's because of school or because of Mama and his mom, or anyway, we just figured out we lived near each other, I guess, and started hanging out. Really, I mean, especially, you know, I don't know, it's just so convenient. Like if you just wanted to go hang out with your buddy, it was right across the street, or him going over. So all that playhouse stuff I was talking about, he was always around, or not far. You know, we'd do a lot of camping around one place or the other. Um, we stayed pretty close during school. I think he'd be okay with me saying this, but I would help him in school quite a bit. Um, I wouldn't say I was too gifted, but I done all right. I think I talked about that in another video about being in some kind of advanced math and English classes. I still to this day don't get that. Maybe they just didn't have a lot to choose from. But uh, yeah, so we close friends plus all the work we'd have to do. Um, Usually through my papa and my daddy, but the pay and stuff like that. I mean, Nick was just always one of them that you just counted on, like it's going to happen, or when they they got a lot to mow over there, keep up with. I was always over there helping. They got a place at the lake, and when I go with them to the lake, we'd spend part to most of the time working on stuff. So I guess I'd classify both of us as kind of the grunts, but I think we also enjoyed that. I mean, nothing wrong with the work ethic, and also that kind of got us around each other. Uh, There'll be a lot of story. I got a lot of stories uh, later on with him, but as far as like younger stuff, it just playing as kids and nothing too crazy. But not that stands out anyway. Then next one, I mean, I can't help but call him my best friend. We are related, we're cousins, but Jody, his mom passed away. I think he was 13, so right around 12, 13 when he moved here from Pennsylvania, and uh, where he moved in with his mama and papa, and that was like the place, the babysitter place for me and my sister, and really all of us that were related. So just by virtue, we were around each other a lot, and then we were close in age, and then we both loved it. I mean, he was one thing I always say about Jody is fishing. He's all about fishing, very good at fishing, and I loved it. And we we'd get to go camp, and Daddy'd take us to Hiawassee and camp and fish, and um, just that. And somebody just make you laugh at all times. We I guess were around each other so much in that period of time. It's like we have our own code language or whatever. We can talk complete gibberish nonsense to the outside world, and we know exactly what the hell we're saying to each other. Now, I mean, I was around Matthew a ton, Nick a ton, but maybe I was just around Jody like during that phase of development or something, or maybe it was just Jody because, um, I mean, and he's one that just for opportunity's sake, sometimes we don't see each other for. I mean, I think we go years sometimes, but it don't matter. We can pick right back up and talk our talk, do our thing, go fishing, whatever, and it'd be like we were just hanging out yesterday. No, there'll be some stories with him too. Not too crazy stuff with him, other than, I mean, I keep saying there'll be stories. Obviously, a lot of it revolves around drinking, but and a lot of it revolves around me drinking. Uh, but they had some events too. I wasn't the only one. uh, let's see. I remember me and him both loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we had a lot of the action figures, and we'd play that. Me and him loved to eat. That's why I was fat, I guess. But I remember 2 for Tuesday at Pizza Hut or the Bigfoot Pizza. We'd just gorge out on pizza. Or uh, he always amazed me about eating like biscuits in the morning. He'd have 2 or 3 big old Marty's biscuits or whatever. And uh, I mean, and we both gained weight and lost weight, kind of the same momentum most of the time. But for some reason, always was just a little bit thinner than I was. Uh, and he'd eat crazy. I mean, of course, I would too. I remember the little period of time. I guess this is going little too far. This would have been in high school, but a little period of time where we were working out, and we were going. We worked together for a while too, but we were going to this gym. I don't know how long we went, but we went pretty steady. I'd say worked out pretty hard from my memory, but every single day we'd have like, I remember those Big Kings back then. I'd have 2 of them or 2 of the BK Big Fish, Big Montanas from Hardee's. I remember one time I had a Big Montana and a Monster Burger. And you talk about feeling sick. If you've ever had either one of them, try to eat both of them at the same time with fries, and oh my god, sick. But yeah. So we got Matthew, Nick, and Jody. Um, another one I would consider a friend, and even though I treat him like shit, and I mean we're also cousins and family, and he's a little bit older than me, so we didn't really, when we were younger, we weren't as close. It's probably because of the age difference, but um, and he lived back and forth in and out of the state. Kind of later in life, especially after my divorce, we got really close and hung out with Jeremy. Um, and he's fun too. He's one lazy son of a bitch. If he ever watches this, he knows he's a lazy son of a bitch. Um, so that can get under my skin sometimes, uh, but he's good hearted and funny, and we can talk crap to each other and just have a good time. And we don't, I mean, again, with I don't think I've even spoke to any of my friends in 3 or 4 months at this point, but I could call them right now and just have a conversation like nothing ever skipped a beat. I'd say that's the core ones. Mainly Matthew, Nick, and Jody. That's just the core that were there through it all. Um, obviously, other people I consider my friends. Uh, just less time or whatnot, or maybe they're further on and down the line in chronological order, or we'll get to them later. I'd say Matthew, Nick, Jody, and then Jeremy. Um, Consistent and make up a big part of who I am. I don't ever been one to try to emulate or mimic other people, but when you're around someone a lot, you do kind of your environment changes. I guess you mold together. I guess I guess they're changing to you too, and you're changing to them. But no, I think about all of them. I'm hoping that can't find time to do these videos. Time is the enemy here. Hope the journey to freedom is about time too, guys. And recapturing time, because I'd like to, get back to where I can hang out with Matthew and just talk crazy, whatever kind of crazy crap comes up, or maybe me and Jody could go fishing, and Nick could just, man, Nick, good God, we've got a million projects. Like I said, we're the workhorses. We could never clock into a job the rest of our life, and we'd be working till we're dead just on the peddling stuff we got to need to do already. Um, and that's the kind of stuff I love doing stuff like that. It feels so good. You get to, it's something you had on your mind, and you finally get to it, and you do it, and you get to see what you did, and maybe it's scraping a driveway or something, and then you get to use it, and it's useful. And so much better than, well, now I'm getting to know who I am. It's so much better than trading your time and your soul for something that you don't get to see the reward of, other than money. And money's not everything. It's money will take your soul and bury it. But that's what we all do, is trade our time for money, and then look up and where's time gone? Try to reach out and reclaim it, and can't even find time to make a video. Or it's a tough trade. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to use tonight for, just to kind of interject the friend scheme before I went on any further. I'm still going to call this Who I Was Day 5. I think still picking up high school. On the next one will be about right, and then there'll be other tangents. There's no way to avoid it. I was rewatching that video. I'm just going to have to go, and then something takes me somewhere, we'll make a video about it. That's all. Screw it. I mean, it's who I was, right? A lot of, and there'll be stuff I won't cover, and I don't want to glorify all the bad, but when we get to that part, I want to talk about it in enough detail that to paint a real picture. Because you can say somebody did, kind of bucketize it into something, but I think the devil's in the details of what I did in those years. Like college. I mean, it started before 18, but especially like 18 to 25, there's a lot of damage then to myself and others and my family, but we'll get to that. All right, so views ain't happening too much. I got one guy that's pretty consistent there. I do appreciate. But, I appreciate the likes and but in the comments, anything you can think of to get it out, share it, whatnot. It's good. I'll try to do a little bit more of the shorts. They're not as hard to do because I can fit them in while I'm working out or something. People already look at me like I'm crazy, so talking to myself or something's not that much. It doesn't add that much drama to it. These, I see a time up there going up on 30 minutes. It's generally like I'm going to keep these 20 to 30 minutes. Or whatever I can find time to do, or whatever the topic takes. I can imagine that there'll be some when I get started. I'll just have to keep going on because need a clear ending point. Because I have to, if it's weeks before I can come back, I have to find where to pick up at. Anyway, thanks guys. Again, Cincinnati. The next big one I'll be doing is Guaymas, Mexico. So maybe I'll have some time there and get a different scene in the background. There's some pretty desert scenery there, so try to do one down there if I can. But until then, have a good night. See you guys.